Cool. Well, I guess hi everyone. This is the Casper Standup. We got a pretty small stand-up this week, but I think we're gonna have some updates, some update delegation, some kind of involuntary update delegation.
Well, I mean, I could just mention that Michael Birch and Kent, they got out the Archain, the first draft of the Archain implementation. The release was released on Friday. And,
you mean the Archain implementation of CBC Casper? Like
that's
the
correct.
friendly ghost?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, with the inclusive ghost thing.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's still the blocks right now are empty. Like it won't be till the end of the month that they can tame the state. But it's pretty cool. They were 24 hours late because they were chasing a gRPC bug. So they had actually more than one. There were a bunch of interacting bugs that.
Sorry, what is gRPC?
That's the proto buff stuff. That's.
Okay. It's like it's your like serialization.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's another.
But if you so they have a distributed implementation then.
Yeah, that's right. The blocks are being passed around. That's correct.
Between nodes on different threads or between nodes on different computers?
Nodes on different computers.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. And I think there's still some more bugs that they're trying to squash. In particular, I think they had some problem with timing on nodes coming in, but
what does that mean?
Well, they were noticing that they would run the logs would get up to 8 blocks and then just cap off, and Michael was saying that he thinks this has to do with older, like newer nodes not being able to catch up because of a synchronization condition. But honestly, I should defer to Michael because I don't have my head in that code base. So, but he's got a ticket up on it right now, and they're tracking it down. I also know Kent's on vacation for 3 weeks. He'll be back on the 20 something or other. Yeah, so we won't
be nice.
Yeah, seriously. Well, he deserves it. He's really knocked it out of the park several times in the last several weeks. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. And also just for a heads up, I'm going to Reykjavik on the 19th, and I should be able to make the Casper Hangout, but I'm kind of only working 50% from the 19th through the 25th. So
cool. Is it a conference?
No, we are filming. My band is filming the video for one of our singles. So I'm excited.
Cool.
Our music is going viral. We have over 4,000 likes on the first single we dropped on Facebook after a few days, and
sweet.
We have now about 1,000 likes on the second single we dropped. I still don't know all this social media.
Sorry, who's we?
The we is the band is, or the ensemble is called The Crown. It includes my wife Natasha, whose voice can bring the angels down from the heavens. And then we also have Ahmed Reza, who is a really fantastic Kurdish drummer. We have Michael Henderson, who plays both oud and guitar. And we also have Igor Adamovich on keyboards, and the fabulous Beth Quist on hammer dulcimer and other things.
All right, sounds cool. And I can find this on your Facebook page.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah. And the singles are up on Bandcamp under, I think it's the Crown Royal.
Sweet. Well, let's get back to Casper then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have any other updates from your side?
No, I'm still contemplating the whole changing the state. Like it'd be really nice to be able to describe the requirements on the states as an algebra. So yeah, just thinking about that.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So what about you? What's going on for you?
Well, I just had EdCon this week, which is this Ethereum community conference or Ethereum developer conference in Toronto.
Yeah.
I gave a couple of Casper talks and did a lot of like conversations with a lot of people about like CBC Casper stuff, and potentially have some more recruits.
Sweet.
Knock on wood a little bit. But I've in terms of research, I've been working on the new kind of sharding solution.
Okay.
Which we can initially like thought of conversation like it was me, Nate, Kent, and Michael Birch over dinner one time, and I'm just kind of like going through and like trying to like specify it and get it to a point where I feel like it's where I'm like very confident that it does all the things that I need.
Oh, okay.
And then my hope is that like, I don't know, in relatively short order, I should have like 3 sharding solutions, one for each of the atomicity definitions that I have, and it'll be cool to compare, to kind of compare them, right? Because like they all kind of look and feel actually quite different. One of them has atomicity in the fork choice, the other has atomicity only in finality, and the other has it like only denies the finalization of inconsistent things.
Oh, interesting.
So it's more like eventual atomicity.
Yeah.
It is only eventual, assuming liveness. Like if there's any liveness, then it implies that there's eventual atomicity. But if there isn't liveness, then it's just like not inconsistent.
Right. But atomicity, yeah. So what is it? What is it? Because typically one wants atomicity to force that you can't observe these intermediate states. So
yeah, so we're not really doing that, and so somehow the notion of atomicity here just means that the transaction is executed in whole or not at all.
I see. Okay, got it.
In the like eventual one, and also in the one where it's like not atomic in the fork choice, but just with finality. The one that's atomic in the fork choice does have that property though.
Okay. Okay.
However, if you want like a very large number of shards, you end up having to do routing if you so that not all validators need to validate on all the shards, right? And so routing does lead to like this, like the whole observational boundary thing of a version of atomicity is also lost there if you're doing the transaction, and like it'll have some effects and then it'll route some and then have more effects.
Interesting.
So like the whole idea of like locking down a cross shard area before doing a transaction is something that is not like it isn't something that I have a starting solution for, although it's and can be implemented by smart contracts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That really messes with availability, doesn't it?
Yeah, locking things down so that yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But at least like you like there's the number of situations where there might be deadlocks in that model I think is less. because you can only have deadlocks within a single transaction as opposed to two transactions deadlocking each other.
Okay, yeah, right, understood.
But that's like, assuming that everyone only programs in an asynchronous model, like that should be fine. But like, obviously not all problems are as amenable to that.
Well, yeah. It, the synchrony asynchrony thing is like Troy. You build synchrony on top of asynchrony on top of synchrony on top of asynchrony. It's just crazy. So I understand where you're coming from. It's you get callback hell if you do everything asynchronous, and you get kind of weird buffering problems if you do everything synchronous. So people tend to mix those models a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I said this before, but we did make a decision with respect to the model, that the sharding model that we're taking on Mercury. So we have kind of this. As you may know, there are these two competing proposals: the lattice model and the tree model. And so we ended up with a tree of lattices.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So that's interesting. I'm curious.
yeah. So like within any juncture in the tree, a place where children come into a parent, that juncture. So every child is a lattice, right? So it's got a bunch of regions that are organized in the power set lattice, right? And then but there are security guarantees within that lattice that can't be guaranteed when the children come up to a parent, right? So effectively in the tree. So that what happens is that the tree is representing a relaxation of security guarantees that have to do with the inability with a more distributed model, right? So within the lattice, you're able to do observation on the integrity of the transition function, right? The virtual machine transition. Whereas in the tree, you don't have that kind of guarantee about observations of that, and so there's a different trust model there about that integrity. So you can't make the same guarantees about security there.
So are you talking about validity?
So yeah, like you don't know, you don't, like in the lattice model, there's an assumption that you can watch there's enough validators watching the transitions that you don't have invalid transitions, whereas at the tree level you don't have that assumption.
That's not really true. It's just that assumption is
There's a contract.
It constructs like a precise relationship where, like, oh, if you follow this shard, then you only need to follow those ones, and but it does really like assume ultimately like that the blocks are valid on all the shards. It's just that there's a clean way to to split up the responsibilities, that as opposed to having validators from every shard on every shard.
Sure, we can talk about it like that, but the main thing is that you actually have it's not necessarily the same rev from child to parent. So that's why the trust model is different. There's an exchange of the rev from child to parent.
Oh, okay, I see. So now I see. So it's not that there isn't it's not that you don't rely on it to be valid. It's just that the cost of it being invalid is bounded by like some known amount.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And this is like it's a very normal kind of trust model. Like in the sidechain world, for example.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, so it's a little, it's not as pretty as I would like.
Well, like there's you don't need to give up. You don't need to give up looking.
I'm not giving up. I'm just saying, like, we have to get Mercury out the door, which means we have to make decisions, and then we can keep looking in Venus.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I gotta give 5 minutes to Christian before jumping over to Dev Standup. So
okay, well, let me just rack my brain real quick to see if I have any more updates.
Oh, I do have one quick update, which is I'm giving I'm teaching Introduction to the Design of Computational Calculi. It's roughly a 10-week course. It's an hour before Casper Standup on Mondays, beginning on May 28th.
Wow. Like a public course?
Well, no, there's only limited slots. And Nate said he wanted to join that, but the requirement is that you have to send an email to lgreg.meredith. That's lgreg.meredith@gmail.com. And there are three questions that email. So the email must say introduction. The subject must be Introduction to the Design of Computational Calculi. And in it, there must be answers to 3 questions. Who are you? Why do you wish to attend? And what is your aim?
Okay.
So Nate, if Nate really does want to join this, he really has to send that email. And there are limited slots.
Why are there limited slots? Is it
because we're going to do roundtable discussions on air, and we just can't have.
Yeah. So who are you? So what are your intentions? What do you want? Well, I remember. The
the 3 questions.
Yeah.
Who are you? Why do you wish to attend? And what is your aim?
Right. The 2 and 3 seem like they might have some redundancy in the answers.
There's overlap, but they're not the same.
Yeah, I hear you. Some redundancy.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. Sweet. Well, that sounds interesting.
Cool. I should probably chat with Christian.
All right. Well, I'm happy to leave it at this then.
All right. Thanks for.
Bye, guys.
Yeah. Talk to you later.